Guys, it's Lost in Plot, and today we're here with The Northman.
The Northman, it was written and directed by Robert Eggers. And that's a name that maybe you should know, maybe you shouldn't know. It doesn't really matter. He did a film called The Witch, I think it was. Did you see that? It was a horror film. It was pretty good. I liked The Witch. Did you like The Witch? No. Okay. And then he followed that up with a movie I hated, which was The Lighthouse. And a lot of people liked that with all this critical acclaim. It starred Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson as two guys trapped on a lighthouse island, and all they really do is kind of lose their minds and beat off. So that was...
They beat off?
Yeah, there's scenes of that. There are like these long dramatic scenes of that.
Wow, so that's the type of filmmaking that we're getting. Now, Jake has seen it, I have not, so give me the rundown. What is The Northman about?
Well, The Northman is set around like 900 AD, something like that, and it is a Viking story. It's about a Viking prince who is trying to avenge the death of his father, the king. So the story is just, it's almost an exact lift of The Lion King. So if you're wondering, like, that's what you're getting. Pretty basic story, and I didn't really enjoy the first act much when they were setting it up. You know, part of it's a $60 million film, but it's kind of like an art house Viking epic story, if that makes sense. So you've got some money there, you've got some cool visuals, you've also got some weird scenes that'll make you uncomfortable, that they're not very enjoyable to watch, and they're kind of crawling around in dirt acting like dogs and they're half naked. That's this father-son bonding thing that happens early in the film. So it definitely has some of that too. But what the draw is if you can make it in the second and third act, then the story really opens up and it just becomes that classic revenge story that works so well, because we can all get behind a good revenge story, right?
Father and son crawling around in the mud like dogs?
Yeah, that happened. Willem Dafoe is in that scene too, of course. He's going to be in like all that.
Well, at least they're not beating. Yeah. Now, tell me, demographically, who are they aiming for? Is this adults? Are we looking at men, women,
adults.
Older, skews younger?
Adults and really avid film goers, I think, is his audience. So if you know the name Robert Eggers, then you're probably very deep into some of the independent films, and you've seen The Witch and The Lighthouse, and you like those critical prestige films like that.
So if you're going out to consume this, you shouldn't have on the brain that you're getting an intense Viking action adventure, but more you're going to consume some sumptuous visuals, some set design, some lighting, that type of thing.
Some interesting visuals. I didn't even think there's some interesting visuals in there, and some of the stuff is out there, but this absolutely is like this violent Viking epic too, because if you think of the Lion King story and the prince loses his father and goes off and then comes back seeking revenge, well, when he goes off, he becomes a berserker warrior who's basically just been rampaging through Iceland or Greenland, wherever it is, destroying villages until he can find his fate, which is going back to kill the person that betrayed his king and father. So it is very violent. There is a great cast, and really this is all about Alexander Skarsgård, who plays the protagonist role in here, and he is on fire through like this whole thing. The dude is just amazing. He carries it. He's really the reason to go see The Northman, his performance. You've also got Nicole Kidman in there. You've got Anya Taylor-Joy, who's worked with Robert Eggers before in The Witch. So she's also really good in this as well. So you've got a good, solid revenge story. You've got some awesome violence and some crazy Viking berserker stuff going on. There are a lot of Norse mythology comes into play too with some of the visuals and stuff that they do.
Have we seen Alex Skarsgård before in any other notable roles?
Oh yeah, Alexander Skarsgård. He, of course, from True Blood. He got his big start in True Blood. He was Tarzan. If you remember, they made that live action film for Tarzan. So he's done a bunch, and he's awesome here. Like, he was the perfect fit to play this role for The Northman, and you do get a lot of really cool visuals and development. It's a straightforward revenge story. Like I said, that first act is a little bit tough to get through, but if you can, the film really opens up for the second and the third act, and we get that revenge story that we're seeking, and it is hyper violent and a lot of cool visuals in there.
Well, we're making the case for it now. Give it the grade. Where does it come in? Is it worth our time?
Well, it is alive, and it's a 6 out of 10 for me with the warning, right? Because if you're not someone who's in for like the kind of prestige film. Some of the stuff is a little bit out there. It's not mainstream. It's more independent filmmaking. You know what I mean? Those kind of like The Green Knight. It's kind of like a distant cousin.
Sounded a lot like The Green Knight.
In that some of these scenes are challenging and kind of out there visual effects, but they do tie into Norse mythology. So if you're a fan of the Norse mythology, you'll see like Valkyries and some of those visuals, and that's what they bring into the story here. So if you like that stuff, then you're going to be cool with some of the more out there their features. But it's not, your mainstream gladiator kind of sword and sandals epic revenge story like that. It's a little bit different. It's art house.
All right. And if you're the type of film goer who wants to see the two madmen beating off in a lighthouse, are you going to be disappointed by this latest effort?
You are, because this is better than The Lighthouse. I think I still personally like Witch the best of the three films that this guy has done, and then it would be this. Because I thought The Witch was good until the third act.
The Witch is the movie
fell apart
where the woman is nursing like a crow that is pecking at her teeth. Isn't that in The Witch?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
I mean, that was just weird.
Probably.
We liked The Witch.
So, I mean, I don't even
think
think
all
that
these
Robert
goats.
Eggers...
It had goats in
Yeah, Robert Eggers may not even be a name worth you knowing. He does all these period films. This is another period piece. Witch was a period piece. The Lighthouse was a period piece. So, it's interesting. It's different, but also that familiar revenge story that I think can connect with broader audiences, whereas other films didn't necessarily have that core story to bring everybody.
There you go. That's the word on to Northman. It's alive, but just barely, guys. If you've seen it, leave your thoughts and feedback in the comments down below. Check us out on Twitter. Like and subscribe. We'll see you all on the next one.